Good morning. We're starting a few minutes late, but we're going to go ahead. We've had a change in our order of presenters. Our con presenter for Proposition 1 seems to be delayed. So we want to make good use of your time. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and have the local city measures first. So I'm Susan Newhouse from the League of Women Voters, and I'm glad to see all of you here this morning. I think we'll have other people coming in as we go along. There's a lot going on in the city today. What we're going to do is we have your agenda. Hopefully that you got one by the back of the door. Things we're going to cover today is we're going to talk about, as you heard, Proposition 1, which is the water bond. We're going to then have and that's going to be Linda Seifert, our Solano County Supervisor, and Barbara Berrigan-Perea, who's no on Prop 1. And then we're going to have, but we're going to start our program, as I said, with Measure B. And we are likely to have Heather McLaughlin, who's our city attorney, is going to be presenting that and talking. She's just going to give information. We are not doing a pro and con on that measure, but we wanted you to have the opportunity to ask questions. There will be people walking around with questions and with cards for you to write your questions on and collect them so that she can then answer that. We'll do that for each section of the agenda. Then we'll have Measure C, Benicia Measure C, which is the sales tax initiative. And we're lucky to have two of our prominent businessmen who are going to be discussing that with us. Pro will be Mike Ikemedes, and on the no side, the con side, will be Bill Simpkins. And then we will have a short break. After that, there are lots of cookies and other refreshments out in the hallway, and there also are materials that for you to look at between the time we have the other presenters of the Board of Unified School District candidates. This forum is co-sponsored today. We're very lucky. The League of Women Voters has two great co-sponsors, the Benicia City Open Government Commission and the AAUW, the American Association of University Women, Vallejo and Benicia, have joined us today to sponsor this forum. The only other thing I wanted to just make sure you know is that the forum is meant to be one that is unbiased, that none of the sponsors have a position or are voicing a position today on any of the propositions, measures, or the candidates. We want to support the full and fair discussion of issues among speakers and candidates as a service to the voters. And in line with that, we ask that you do not take any pictures, video recordings, or cell phones during the presentation. It is being taped. We're very pleased that we will have this taped. It's being streamed live if people at home are watching it. And then it'll be rebroadcast on Comcast Channel 27 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. And it'll be broadcast, I understand, on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. I have the pleasure of introducing our moderator for today, Belinda Smith, who is a past president of the League of Women Voters, very active with us still, as well as a lot of community involvement. Belinda Smith.
Thank you all for coming this morning. I'm going to go over the ground rules that the candidates received and signed a statement, even though Heather didn't have to do that, but I will go over the ground rules for this morning. We expect civil, respectful behavior at all times. Not at this point, but candidates are instructed to refrain from personal attacks or charges and not to interrupt one another. Candidate responses should pertain to the question at hand. I will interrupt you if you stray. I will enforce time limits. We have timers over there that will be keeping time for our candidates when they're up there. The broadcast is being taped, and all the candidates agreed, and people that are involved, to not use the tape in any way. It cannot, and if it is used, it has to be used with the permission of the League of Women Voters and used in its entirety. And once again, we ask that no cell phones, no recordings being taken during the presentation. Well, since Heather is just going to just making a presentation, I'll repeat the other ones later on. But I'd like to introduce Heather Chinshu McLaughlin, the City Attorney of the City of Benicia. She has been the City Attorney for the City of Benicia since 1997. Prior to that time, Ms. McLaughlin served as Assistant City Attorney for the cities of Alameda, Woodland, and Dixon. She also served as Assistant General Counsel to the Alameda Reuse and Redevelopment Authority. She has given presentations on a variety of subjects, including the Brown Act, the Political Reform Act, the Public Records Act, whistleblowing, and Benicia Open Government Ordinance. She has also lectured on public works and base closure issues. She is an active member of the City Attorney's Department of League of California Cities and has at various times served as chapter editor and section writer for the League's Municipal Law Handbook, member of the Public Works, Transportation, and Telecommunications Policy Committee, member of the Legal Advice Advocacy Committee, member of a committee that prepared an ethics guide for city attorneys, Municipal Law Institute Committee, and member of the League's Brown Act Committee. She is also the city's representative to ABAG Plan, an insurance and risk management group, and has been elected president twice. Ms. McLaughlin received her bachelor's degree in ancient Greek from Bryn Mawr College. She received her Juris Doctorate degree from the University of California at Davis, and she is an enthusiastic member of Seroptimus International of Benicia and has served as president of the Benicia Club. Ms. McLaughlin.
Thank you very much. So it's kind of odd sitting in this chair right here. I'm used to being over on the side. It's more comfortable over there, I think. So I'm here to talk to you about Measure B. Measure B is the question before you all on whether the treasurer should be an appointed position or an elected position. The City Council decided unanimously to put this on the ballot for you to decide. There's several good reasons, I think, that they did this. First off, we have had an elected treasurer since the forming of the city, but over time, the way that the city finances have been handled has changed over time. When the city was initially formed, finances and holding of the investments was done by the city treasurer. But as technology and the way the banking world has changed over time, the money is not actually held here in the city, it's held off in banks and other places. So the need for a person to have actual physical custody of the money is no longer there. And with the change in banking rules, and as well as the new stricter auditing rules that the city has as a result of the bankruptcy of Orange County, and even as recently as the Bellasort financial mess, the rules for city treasurers are very strict. The rules the city has to comply with are very strict. We have annual audits now done by independent auditors. City of Benicia is fortunate because we also have the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee is made up of 5 members appointed, 5 residents appointed by the City Council and the mayor to look over the finances. They meet monthly, they review the books, they provide input, suggestions, changes, and when they think something's not right, they bring it to the council's attention. So duties that used to be performed by the treasurer now are performed by city staff. City staff is hired, and we actually go through a recruitment process to find somebody qualified to do that work. Whereas an elected treasurer, the only requirement for an elected treasurer is that you be 18 and a resident. So you could be 18 and somebody like me who's not too good at numbers and be appointed treasurer. If you move the position to an appointed position, you can then select for qualifications. The council has done its best over time to make this so that the qualifications are clear to people who want to run for treasurer. They've amended the municipal code, and now they have desirable qualifications. So like you're supposed to have a knowledge of municipal finances, knowledges of the methods and practices of how things are done in the finance world. So that's helped for sure. But it still is a outstanding issue. The treasurer, some people have said, provide watchdog authority, and I don't know that that's as true as it was back in the old days.